Hello, and welcome to The Word, the World, and Everything in Between. I am your host, Edalis.
And I'm your other host, Ale, and we have a very special guest today. And we're gonna have her say her name, or should we say something?
No, I want to introduce. I want to introduce. Yes, I want to introduce. Okay. So it's Pastor Abby. She is the first lady of our church, The Way Family Church. She's an amazing mother. She's a wonderful speaker.
So sweet.
Oh, we know that. I think she's a wonderful wife. I mean, because Pastor Matt always looks to the nine, so I'm only thinking she's the one taking care of him, you know. But honestly, I want to describe you as you are a woman of poise.
Mm-hmm.
You are graceful. You are classy. You look like you just have the love of God in you. And you could see it when you deal with people, when you talk. You're just very gracious all the time.
Oh,
and you always look so good too.
You're
a fashionista. That's another thing. She is a beautiful pastor, first lady of our church. She really is. But you know her better than I do, so I'm sure you could say other things about her.
So what I'm going to say is that I've known Pastor Abby for probably the past, 18 years? 18 years. And in this all 18 years, I just want to say, Pastor Abby, that you have been not only such a good example for every woman in our church, okay, but an inspiration to many, okay? An inspiration to many. Every single women's meeting, I feel like women come up inspired. You know, I think one of the things that I most admire about you is the way you handle your life, like the way you treat your husband, which is very impactful for many women in a church, because not everyone comes from that background, or not everyone is willing to do that.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
So I feel like the way you take care of your marriage and the way you handle that part of your life is so inspiring and good. And I can attest that from the 18 years that I have known you, I've seen a constant making it so impactful and important. And I think it's the a good model, because not only you take care of your marriage like that, you take care of your family, but it's very important to have a marriage, but a happy marriage, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because everybody can be married for 20 years,
Sure.
30 years.
Yeah.
But are you happy? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like making it. Or you
Well, are you happy?
Is it heaven on earth? or
Yes, very happy.
Yes. Or, because everybody can be married for 20 years.
Right.
But what is the fruit, what I'm saying, the fruit.
We could see it.
We can see
It's
the
evident.
fruit, how Pastor talks about you, how you talk about your husband. I feel like that's very sacred for you.
Yeah.
And it's one of the things that I most.
Oh, you guys. So sweet. That's a lot of things.
Now you're going to look at yourself in the mirror and be like, wow,
Ooh.
oh, really? All that? I guess so.
So sweet.
So with that being said, the question that I want to ask you is, what advice, if any, would you give to somebody, a wife, a woman that's going into the ministry that is married to a pastor?
Wow.
Or what would you have wanted somebody to tell you? Listen, you're going to marry this man. He's going to be a pastor.
Right.
And, these are the pros and cons of it. Or what advice would you give?
Okay, so we're just diving right into
Yes,
the deep end. No easy questions. Let's just go straight for it. Okay.
Because we know you have so much to say. So please.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think of course, when I grew up, I never knew I was going to be in the ministry. We have no history of family being, I think way back in the line, there's a few nuns, which I could I seriously could be a nun. I love it. And there was some pastors, but it's way, way back in our history, as far as my mom loves to do the history on the family. But
by the way, I love your mom.
Oh, that's so sweet. Yeah, we love you, Mom. But so I didn't know. So it's not like you can prepare to go into the ministry or prepare to, because we just kind of, and we were young. We stepped into it. We've been doing ministry full time for 2 decades. So about 20 years we've been doing this. And there's a lot more women that are being called alongside their husbands, or women that just want to step out into a ministry like you guys. You've stepped out into this podcast, which is amazing. I'm so proud of you guys. But just some advice that you would give to women in ministry, or even any, because life is ministry.
Yes.
Life is being a mother, being a wife, going to work, going to school, just being a friend,
Amen.
going to the store. Like, it is a ministry. And so I have tried to keep that in the forefront of my mind, that even though I'm stepping into something that is sacred calling, it is a big deal being a pastor's wife. It's a lot of responsibility. Not that it's a big deal like you're something big, but it is like a lot of responsibility that you're stepping into, which if I would have known beforehand, who knows if I would have even stepped into it, because it's a lot.
Or you would have said yes.
Yeah, or I would say yes, exactly. But I try to operate my life just as I would as someone looking at you as well. Because I want to be the same person that I am at church that I am at home. So I will go dive deeper into that and what it looks like to be a pastor's wife. But advice that I would give is, you need to love Jesus with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. That is going to be the foundation and the core of everything that you build upon, or the ministry that is going to be built through you. And so don't lose that. Don't lose that relationship. A lot of people love Jesus and feel called to do something else, and then that becomes the priority, or that becomes the direction. Oh, God's called me to do this. He's called me to do this. I felt he wants me to do this. And then that becomes the fixed and the focus of their lives. But God never intended that. It was always relationship through him. And through that relationship comes the birthing of whatever you do. It's the overflow of your life and relationship with Jesus. And so through all the years, it can be very tempting to go off into the left or to the right, or what I need to do, or what I have to do, or this meeting, or this, I got to preach here, I got to teach here, I got to do this. It can take over your life. And you're thinking you're doing great things. And you are. Like, people are blessed and they say you're so anointed and this is so amazing. But yet you've lost that tendency. Of course, your first love, it's Jesus. And so anything that's built to last has to be built upon the rock. And that's Jesus. That's your relationship with him. Because ups and downs will come in the ministry, especially if you are the spotlight. I live with eyes on me continually.
Sure.
They don't truly know who I am, but they can say things about me or my kids or this or that. And so if I am not built upon the rock, then I could get out to, people pleasing every single person just to be that person, that pastor's wife that they want me to be. But I've had to settle in with a relationship with Jesus and allow him to tell me who I am, to be able to step out and be who he wants me to be. So the first part of advice is just, you need to keep that relationship with Jesus. Your prayer time, the alone time. Not anybody sees, not reading for something to say. Reading for revelation. Oh, that'd sound good. Oh, I could teach that. Oh, I could post that. Oh, I could use all this to, the motive behind it could be ourselves, self-centered. It could be us. It could be wanting to do this great thing for God. But yet I know that the greatest thing that he's called me to do, and everyone else, is to love him and to go to him and to pray and to praise and to have a relationship with Jesus Christ. And so that's what I want to keep aflame from now until we go home to Jesus. That is the advice I want to give ministries, because you can get so excited to do things for the Lord. But God desires your heart. He desires to be with you. He desires to speak to you. He desires to bring his presence in your room, in your car, alone. Those are the times that mean the most to him. And through that, you will have enough content to preach, to teach, to walk, to write a book, to do whatever. It's amazing when you prioritize him first. Your well will never run dry.
Right. Yeah.
So-
Wow. So that's a mic drop.
Okay.
That's it too for next week. That's right. I think that's just a point.
All right. Sorry for the long, extensive point.
No, please. That was really, really good. No, you're right. Yeah. You are right. Keep Jesus in front of you at all times.
Yeah.
And keep your eyes in the word,
Yes.
which is what ultimately will lead you to the person that
You
said,
need to
you know,
be.
You need to be. Yeah.
And I love in the verse, which I love this verse. It's in Proverbs 10. Wait, let me. Yeah. Proverbs 10, I believe 17. But it says, "Oh, he who heeds instruction and correction is not only himself in the way of life, but also is a way of life for others." And so it also continues to say, "And he who neglects or refuses reproof, not only himself goes astray, but also causes error and is a path towards ruin for others." And so when you step into ministry, that's what, in every area, because again, I want to be
Right.
same.
I'm sorry.
Yes,
Because a lot of people think that just that you're the pastor's wife, so he's the one in ministry.
right.
No. You are
she-
also
yes.
the one in ministry.
Very true.
So a lot of people, oh, she's just the pastor's wife. No,
Right.
she is in the ministry
Yes,
also.
absolutely. And that's a great point, because God calls both of you.
Mm-hmm.
When he called Abraham and Sarah, their names were Abram and Sarai.
Mm-hmm.
But then when God called them, he changed their names to Sarah and Abraham.
Right.
And so they each have God's
yes.
name in them.
Right.
The
Yeah.
Sarah, Abraham.
Right.
So they each have a part of God's name within them. So God calls you together.
Right.
And even though maybe the pastor's wife isn't as seen,
Mm-hmm.
the preparation, the work, the dedication, the sacrifice, the tears, the seeking the Lord, it's all a part of it.
Yes.
Yes. I feel like is the price that you pay for the position that you have.
Yes.
Right.
Not everybody wants to pay the price,
Right.
for that position. Everybody would like to have the position, but are you willing to pay the
Yeah.
price?
With that comes scrutiny.
Exactly.
People, like you said, all eyes on you.
Right.
And so judgmental.
Yes.
Judgment. Oh, well,
Judgmental,
her
yes.
her kid sat the wrong way.
Yeah.
Um.
Or wore the wrong thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Or sat the wrong way. Like, well, they're only 5.
Right.
How are they supposed to sit?
Right.
Have they not seen crisscross
right.
applesauce?
Yeah.
Do your kids sit
Yeah.
crisscross
It's
applesauce?
true.
So it comes with a lot of that.
A lot of judgment, a lot of things said about the people, because you are like they're looking at your life with a microscope,
Yeah.
and that's sad, but it's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think it's so powerful what you say when you just have Jesus at the center of your heart and in your heart. I mean, that births the ministry,
Absolutely.
and that's what I have witnessed
Mm.
in those 18 years, because Pastor Abby has never been the regular pastor that you cannot approach. She's always been approachable, humble,
Yes.
there with you. I've seen her scrub back.
Gracious.
You know what I mean? Remember?
Yes. Bathrooms?
Yes, at the beginning of the church. And I remember at the beginning of the church.
Absolutely.
So you've done it all.
Yes, she's done it.
Yes.
But then that's what happens. Now
Yes.
somebody comes me 18 years later
Yes.
Yeah.
and sees you there. I mean, of course I know, about behind
Right.
ministry and all that. But
Yes.
if you don't, then you see her and it's like, oh,
No, I'm just here.
yeah, she's just there.
She's done.
And
She's done.
she's
a lot.
done a lot. So they
Right.
realize
Come
that
ask me.
that you,
Yeah.
that you've done a lot of
Yes.
of the
yes.
work.
Yes.
For you could sit down.
And there's seasons. They are
Yes.
in a different season of
Right.
ministry.
Right.
It's not-
We've
no.
grown to this place.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
That's not the seasoning.
Yeah. At the beginning, we did everything.
everything.
I would lead worship, and then I would leave worship when I was done, and then run to the kids' room and give them the lesson, and then I'd come up and say goodbye to everybody. I mean,
Right.
you put on every hat,
Yes.
and because the way we saw it, like it was such an honor to do anything.
Yeah.
Right.
And you know, I remember this one time in our first building that we had from the way. It was off McCalby after we got out of the school. And, you know, there's toilets. People use the toilets.
Yes.
Mhm.
We have to
We have to clean them and everything.
them.
But it was right before service. And in the men's room, there was some man had, you know,
Yes.
gone number 2. And it wasn't
Really.
pretty. And the toilet was clogged. It was absolutely clogged. And everyone's just, and it smelled.
Mm-hmm.
It made the lobby smell. You could just smell it. It was bad.
Yeah.
And everyone's just like, listen, I don't know what to do. Should we close the bathroom? Maybe everybody can share the women's bathroom. It's just like,
Nope.
okay, no, we can't do that.
So Pastor Abby, there he goes. Hands on.
So it's a story.
No, tell it, yeah.
Yeah.
But I just stuck my hand down the toilet and ripped out the clog.
You know what? I like that. So you really don't put up with any BS.
No, let's just
So
get it done.
So she's approachable. She's very gracious, but at the same token, she puts up with no BS.
No BS.
So you deserve those Louis Vuitton.
Well,
Let's
okay.
talk about your red bottom shoes.
That's right. Which I have one pair, and it was given to me by someone that got saved in our church,
Right.
but she was a stripper.
Yeah. Of this.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's the story of those shoes.
Right.
People think they know things,
Yes.
but they don't even know.
Yes.
Which is, you know, every time I put those on, it's like, I'm praying for this girl. I haven't seen her back, but you know what? She sewed into my life, and I'm going to walk places for her if she can't get there herself.
I love
I'm going to walk into church. I'm going to walk to the altar.
That's
I'm going to walk
That's
wherever. So
That's right.
representing her
That's
well.
right. Yeah.
But
And you no, seriously. And not only that, and next time when you have them on, can we get you like a little stool?
yeah,
Sit
sure.
your feet up.
Absolutely.
No, when you
Yes.
Congregation.
no, when you up the stairs.
Peek, look at these. And can I just say, they are so uncomfortable.
They-
They are the worst shoes ever. I'm like, who would buy these?
Not you.
Not me. Thank you. Saved me a lot of time and money. So
So now you know.
now I know.
You're not buying another.
No,
it's
no.
It's not even in your.
It's not worth it.
Yeah.
No. But yeah, like I said with that scripture, we are the way of others. And that's how I have to picture ministry. I'm not the way. Jesus is the way, the truth, and life. We're not perfect. We're never going to be perfect. But our motive should be to be that example, to make that way in the wilderness so that Jesus can come and minister to people and just do it all, whatever it takes, because we love Jesus and we want the church to represent him well. We don't want a stinky bathroom.
No.
I mean, there could be a first-time visitor that could have totally turned them off.
Of
Well, that's the
I mean,
spirit of excellence.
So, yeah, amen. And that's God.
Yes.
And that's okay.
Yes.
Not that it's everything,
right.
but it does open hearts to, okay, I think people make a decision to stay at your church within the first 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. It's not the message. It's not this. It's that. Like, they can kind of take a synopsis of, and what are you willing to do? This
Right.
is our church. God called us to pastor this
Right.
church. So let's do what
Yeah.
we need to do, whether it's small or big.
Right. So next time they see you looking all cute like you
That's
do,
right.
because I think we have one of the prettiest
Yes.
pastors' wife around. Not
So
for real, because I've been to some churches.
Aw.
She's so beautiful.
That's so
And
sweet.
she's always looking cute, not always all the time with red bottom shoes,
Right.
but always, she has been through it.
Yes.
So before you say, all she does is sit down, cute. No. Her hands have been down the toilet.
Yeah.
She's getting the children,
Yeah.
have the worship,
Heartbroken.
yes,
Totally.
yes,
Gone without.
yes.
You name it.
And that's the next thing that I want to talk about. Can we do a part 2?
Yes.
Let's do a part 2.
Okay.
Okay,
So
so
let's close this one.
yes, let's close this one, and we are going to do a part 2 because there's a lot to unfold here, and 20
Yeah.
minutes is not enough.
Wow. That went by fast.
I know. I know.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so
Thank you so much.